Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Samantha Gomez, and I thank you for inviting me today to discuss organizational constraints and how organizational constraints produce um, uh, counterproductive behaviors in employees. And so, what is an organizational constraint? Right? An organizational constraint is a factor that in the workplace that hinders an employee's ability to perform as efficiently and effectively as they can. And so, organizational constraints often lead to frustration, stress, and which ultimately leads to those counterproductive behaviors. And so, what are some common organizational constraints? Um, Number one, inadequate resources, right? Do we not have the proper supplies for the employees? If people don't have what they need to get done, that's going to cause people to become frustrated with their job. I think one of the most important organizational constraints that is common in a lot of organizations these days is the lack of communication or poor communication. And so, right, you have from the top down and from the bottom up. And so, a lot of times that leaves a gap in communication, right, where leaders have an expectation that they say. And well, the worker bees here at the bottom are expected to get those done. However, those middle employees, who are usually the first line supervisors and leaders, sometimes fail to appropriately articulate the information to the employees, thus ending up in a counterproductive behavior because employees are now upset that they have to redo work, right? Because it didn't meet the expectations that were set by senior leaders. And so another organizational constraint is bureaucracy. And so bureaucracy often leads to slowing down the process, right? You need somebody to look that has nothing to do with the process, but yet they still have to review the process. And so when it comes to bureaucracy, we can identify who is it that needs to look at these routing procedures, right? And these processes that we're doing, and then eliminate the people who have an unnecessary say. And so, um, there, another organizational constraint is inadequate training and development. A lot of times, people are just thrown into the job and expected to just figure it out. And that in itself can lead to things not being done right because, right, this person had to just get it done. They didn't have their left and right limits and those clear set expectations in order to appropriately get these tasks completed, which ultimately ends up leading to a work overload, right? And so, and people being uncertain about what their jobs are and what their role is, and then causes some anxiety, right? And it feels like they don't have any support from sometimes their team members and oftentimes those leaders. And so, um, ultimately, these counterproductive behaviors lead to poor job performance and decreased motivation and morale. And so it is important that we are taking a look at those organizational constraints and developing a way to minimize or completely eliminate those constraints. And so, thank you for your time, and you guys have a blessed day.